Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Whims of the Creator. I am your host, J3 Puffin, and I am once again joined by Gadget
Blue Bayou.
and Desmond.
Yeetus.
And we're here to finish off Guitar Hero with the blue cards. Starting off, a doozy. So this is the God of Rock himself. Your events can be played from your hand without fulfilling color requirements. During your turn, your other Guitar Hero character in the middle position of your stage gets 500 power and hexproof. And experience condition, if star power activate is in your level, your climax can be played from your hand without filling color requirements. And all of your Guitar Hero characters in your hand get the following ability. This card can be played from your hand without fulfilling color requirements. So basically, starting from level 1, as long as you have the event in your level, everything in your deck becomes colorless for like requirement purposes.
Yep.
And getting this event in there is not easy.
I've started building with just like this card and some other stuff the first time I sleeved 8 bar. I played 2 of this and 4 of the event, and I was lucky enough to get the event in my opening hand both games. And it's really cool to be able to just kind of slam things without thinking. If you're playing like a green level 1 combo with the event as blue, and like you can have your third level 1 card be like red or yellow. But playing 4 of the event is really, really hard to justify as slots. Because, like, unless you're playing the slash finisher or, like, another card that needs orange on board for some reason, like, you don't need to play 4 of this event in your deck. So, yeah, this card is really, really, really good, but it's just so unlikely to actually work out for you early enough for it to matter, at least in my experience. This reads like a custom set card, doesn't it?
Make everything colorless, and as the last little bit of power, 500 power and hexproof. It does definitely give you that vibe. I think it works out budget-wise. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, but honestly, like, it has that classic, like, back row custom card thing of, like, it does not matter what the power level on this thing actually is. It just kind of is going to exist somewhere. And even then, I guess you don't really need it all game, right? Like, you just need it for, like, a turn or two when you're, like, your level and your clock are weird.
Yeah, but it's also a blue character. Like for the characters like Slash that check for colors, this is an easy card you just kind of put down.
Yeah.
That has blue. There is another card in blue that I think is better than this. That more decks can probably play easily. But like card's not bad. And you know what else? Like if you do decide to play this, you can just play all your events without the filling color requirement. Like that's a fine enough upside, even if you're not gonna go for the experience condition. I think it's like here, probably. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what deck I'm playing this in moving forward because I did cut this from 8 bar. But this is like the most interesting card in the set, and just the implication of being able to potentially play every card in your deck without fulfilling color requirement may be enough of an upside for you to like try to high roll this at level 0. But that's for you to play if you print the set yourself. If you're dear viewer,
I'd say pretty solid card. And I also say too that like also it's also nice as a like little bit of like a tech assist if you want to just like take advantage of its hexproof, which is also kind of nice. If you want to like protect one of your finishers, so that's also one thing you can do outside of like its experience condition, which is also kind of neat. And honestly, this card is basically I was inspired by the that Aang event that's from the Avatar set that it's a little bit different. Doesn't work on experience in terms of what the level, but it's more so as if it's in the if it's in memory. So but it's almost similar functionality to an extent. Other than that, yeah, I mean it's pretty cool card and something I think that's I think that experience condition is something very fitting for the God of Rock. Which little fun fact, he was introduced in Guitar Hero 3 along with Lou. The lore behind Lou and the God of Rock is that they're basically both rivals. They fight each other basically, and that rivalry is pretty much more or less, I guess, kind of continued up until like 5, Guitar Hero 5, and then after that, after Guitar Hero 5, that's when basically Warriors of Rock kind of like does its own thing basically.
Okay. I mean, it does make sense for the God of Rock and a contract signing devil to be like at odds in the music industry like that. And it does make sense for the literal God of Rock to be the one who's like, all right, no, we're bringing the band back together. I don't care what color your climax is. Get in here.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on to our next target?
This is Xavier Stone. He's a really cool dude. He's got a bird's nest in his afro. It's really cool. If you have 4 more other Guitar Hero characters, he gets -1 level in hand, and you can play him without fulfilling color requirements. Woohoo! During your turn, 500 for every other character, and then on play, you can ditch one clock to stock. It's Suisse.
It's sweet.
It's
Yep.
it's just Suisse.
Yeah.
I don't like, so don't get me wrong, this card's great, but I actually hate this card because it sort of invalidates the other 2 or 3 early plays you might want to play in the set, because like it, no matter what deck you're playing, you're just slamming 3 of this immediately before you do anything else. And then you might decide to play the Judy or the Axel if you have the slots or if you need those other colors for your things. But if you're just playing a pile of good cards, there's no downside to just play this guy as your stock healer, early play healer. It's really that simple. It's not. It's again not a bad card, but it's one of the, this is one of like the few criticisms I have of this set. Where like Xavier is so cool. I mean, look at him. I would love to play this guy in every fucking Guitar Hero deck. It is also very flavorful, I will say. But having him do this, it validates a lot of what the other things this set is trying to do, and I think that's a major downside. Kind of the same reason arguments I had for the Demigod of Rock. Card isn't bad. Card isn't like unfair necessarily. It just invalidates a lot of the flavor of this set, and I think that's stupid. But that's just me.
Yeah, I guess some little fun facts. As you can see, his design from Guitar Hero 3 is obviously based off of Jimi Hendrix. Xavier Stone is actually one of the original casts of Guitar Hero. Actually, funny enough, his last appearance was basically Guitar Hero 3. Like after Guitar Hero 3, they basically stopped using him.
Unlucky. I like how long his arms are.
Dude, those are
He
some.
reminds me of He reminds me of like Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, you know?
Yeah. So like 2 questions. One's a question. One's more talking about the fact that it's just Suisse. The fire in his hand.
It's just artistic liberties. It's just part of
Okay.
the design of the character. Actually, funny enough, I was able to find the artist that did all the artwork for Guitar Hero 3, and he has like all like the concept art
Oh, neat.
for all the characters.
That is
Wow.
That is nice and helpful for something like this too.
Yeah, thankfully they're nice quality too.
Yeah.
That's really cool, actually.
So then this leads back to the like Suisse hasn't been a run in every Hololive deck card in a while, and I don't think this is an automatic in this like even back in set 1, I don't think you absolutely ever had to play Suisse. I think a lot of us did just because it was like stock healer and an easy call. But as the metagame just gets faster and faster and faster, it's like you don't always want to be putting in like things that are just healer and just big. Like they're the other ones in this set that have like the extra utility options, like the Judy. Legitimately, it might just be a call to play over it because it is, it's actually doing something offensively. Also with the Axel.
That is true, but the Axel requires your opponent to have level 3 on board, and the Judy requires 2 or less climaxes. Like this is just an easy early play condition to get.
Yeah.
When I actually was playing 8 choice, I did a split 2 between Xavier and the Axel. So I actually wanted to have like at least both options. Honestly, with the 2-2, I actually kind of liked it. Depending on what I really needed, if I needed the Xavier, I'd focus on playing him. And if I wanted to play the Axel for like some push, or if I wanted to like kind of stay a little bit more into let's say until a level 2, I guess I could do the heal. But yeah, I mean, I think doing a 2-2 split works okay.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to just settle for one early play and call it a day. You
Yeah.
do play some ratio.
And to JB's point, this deck also has on-demand free fresh, so you can just play your 2 or less climax early plays. Pretty easy.
We have like the best form of on-demand free fresh.
Yeah. So.
Which we'll get to shortly. In the meantime.
All right. I got this one. Awesome. So this is Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. So his first effect, he's just a healer. Then his climax combo is pay 1, discard 1. When this card attacks, if Tom Morello's guitar battle is in your climax area, you may pay the cost. If you do, deal 1 damage and begin the guitar challenge, which is a replay effect. And what it does is both players put 5 cards from the top of their decks into their waiting rooms. Deal 1 damage to the player who has the least number of colors revealed among those cards.
Desmond, can you were describing to me the other day that the way that you had envisioned this. So can you tell us like what your thoughts were on this?
So, as you
When
can
you
see,
designed it?
like the replay effect was supposed to again emulate the guitar battles from Guitar Hero 3. I figured it'd be kind of cool to see like, oh, okay, like with the theme of like having the 5 colors in Guitar Hero, I thought it'd be a pretty cool idea to like, oh, hey, like try to mimic that flavor of the guitar battle from the game. So have both players face each other to see who hits more colors. So that it's the idea of like, oh, who hits the more notes in terms of color, and then whoever hits the least basically loses and they take damage.
I know you'd also said like most decks in Modern Weiss are playing like 2 or 3 colors in their decks, like on average. Probably it's more
Yeah.
like 2 on average, and then sometimes you'll see people play like level zeros that are also off colors. So if you're playing a 3 or 4 color deck, you can actually pretty easily get that to go off.
Correct.
In a perfect world, this is just Cococino with extra steps for a pay one ditch one, which is very
Yeah.
good. But there is one downside to this that I did not like. If you win the guitar battle, you get to burn your opponent one twice. If you lose the guitar battle, you get to ping your opponent for one, and then you get pinged for one. That's no big deal. You're very often not going to lose this. But if both players reveal the same number of colors, the way Desmond and I ruled it was that nothing happens. So in the event of a tie, getting to just pay one, ditch one to have both players mill 5 and then burn one feels really bad, in my opinion. I wish that if there was a tie, that both players took the 1 damage, just so that you can still stick 1 damage twice with this. But I get that, like, part of the pay one, ditch one cost is getting to mill your opponent for 5, which is also potentially an upside that can decompress them. But it does not feel good to tie this effect, because if you lose, you at least get punished. But like if you tie, like nothing happens. If both players tied, if you got to ping your opponent for 1 still, I would like this a lot more. But the way it is now, I think it's just a C plus for me. And this is also competing with Slash and the Demigod, and also I think the Austin is probably better than this card, honestly, having played it. Like just getting to pay 2, burn 2 off of any climax versus this is pay 1, ditch 1 to just burn for 1. I think it's fine. I just think that I've played other finishers that I like more, you know?
Based on just the wording by itself, that tie ruling definitely isn't immediately obvious. So,
Yeah.
however it shakes out, it would probably need to be in reminder text, like before the damage may be cancel. It also is the thing where it's like, yeah, like it kind of is in a similar place to like the Slash as well, where it's like kind of angling for a similar thing. If this was like when this card's battle opponent is reversed, you may pay the cost X number of times, and then you do the guitar challenge that many times
That'd be funny.
to do like basically like a play on Coco, except it is both players just milling through their whole deck.
Yeah.
That would be real fun.
The other thing I'll say is like because you're looking for who reveals the most colors, you're incentivized to play like really weird color ratios in the kind of the same way that the Avatar deck did, so that you could play to like the Aang Salami, and you would play 4 colors to make sure that card +2. Same idea here. You're playing you can play just a 3-color deck and still get this to resolve, but like you want to play a 4-color deck to make sure you're winning every battle, right? So if you're already putting that much investment into your deck construction and you're still whiffing this, that just feels so bad at level 3 when you're trying to kill your opponent. It just feels terrible.
If it's any consolation, think of it this way: because he mills both players 5 cards, and then that's also once you resolve that replay effect, then he's also going in for damage. So if you ended up actually triple boarding this, even if let's say there's a tie, you could at least make up for it for the refresh damage. So if that ends up happening, that kind of makes up for it to some extent.
I guess, but then let's say I win in 1 lane, lose in 1 lane, and tie in 1 lane, right? Then I paid 3 ditch 3 for
Or penguins.
4 ping ones and 1 uncancelable. I
I mean,
don't.
that's pretty good odds.
It is, but I could, if I was playing Ayakashi, I could pay 4 ditch 2 for just the 4 ping ones, and I wouldn't have to worry about milling my deck or putting myself in a worse deck state or having to ping myself 1. And I could still do a 3rd lane of off finisher if I did it that way in Ayakashi. Like this is more efficient, but with that trade-off, I guess. I don't know. You do need the trade-off to make because Cocochino is such a good effect, but I don't know. More testing required, I guess. My initial rounds of this were not fun though. The other thing is you can't just play one of this card and expect to win. Like I've had games where I've only been able to field one of this guy and it just doesn't do anything. And then there were games where I've been able to field three and I still wasn't able to do anything. So like, it just it's rough.
Yeah,
It's
understandable.
I probably just need to play more games with it. But the way I'm reacting right now, it's just kind of mid. But it's a well designed card, I should say. I do like the design of it.
All right. Next up. Okay, King Diamond. Someone's going to need to tell me who this is after I read this card. At the beginning of your climax phase, give one of your traded characters 1,000 power till end of turn, and then they are a spammable search brainstorm. You just pay the stock, you search for a trade character if you had for each climax you hit, and then you discard after you resolve your search. It's a very interesting card.
Yeah, so this card is the card chain in the final season set.
I was gonna ask if it was AOT. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also if you're wondering who this is, King Diamond. So he's one of the guest characters in Guitar Hero Metallica. He also has quite an interesting history. When I was kind of researching him, I never like really listened to any of his music or anything like that. But apparently he believes in Satanism, and then like yeah, his let's just say his songs are pretty out there. I'll just give the TLDR about that. But yeah, he has quite. If you did research this guy, yeah, he has quite an interesting history.
Gotcha. Okay.
Behind his music career.
I've not tested this card because I haven't found space for it in any of my decks, but in theory, it's pretty good. I was thinking, the way I tend to play AOT 8 Pants is I'll play like 4 of the Levi Ricky, and I'll play like 2 or 3 of the Historia Rico, and I'll play like 2 or 3 of the Gabby Fuka Zero. But the rest of my level 0 lineup in that deck is usually just one of. So I'll play like 1 Armin Brainstorm, 1 Peak Brainstorm, 1 Cart Titan, etc., because your Rico and your level 1 combo both like are checking for zeros because the Rhiners are cigarettes. So like you can be incentivized to play a really broad swath of like level zeros and just grab whatever you need, like kind of like a toolbox. And AOT is like no stranger to having good zeros. I'm going on a tangent here. But my point is AOT is a set that has a bunch of zeros you can play into a toolbox with that level 1 combo. In Guitar Hero, you don't have like a level 1 cigarettes combo that can help you play into that. But you do have this busted ass James Ironwood card that you could just play 4 of and like use that to get whatever zeros you want. So if you decided to play a techie level 0 lineup, you might just play one of this. Or if you're trying to fix for blue, you might play one of this. But this is going to be competing with a couple other blue cards for back row slots. So that's the only reason why I'm only rating it a C+. Card good.
All right.
This is Echo Tesla. She's a 0/0 with an alarm. She has on play from hand. You can pay 1, ditch 1 to refresh yourself. And then she has shift level 0. Beginning of your main phase, you can choose a blue card in your hand and her and switch them. I've played this card in every build of this set. This is just a crony, right? From Hololive?
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah.
the same text.
I think this card is like, you're going to notice that like yellow had a bunch of tech cards. Blue also has a ton of like tech cards you might play one of in your deck. This is definitely one of them. So there's no problem like getting, obviously the Xavier you would probably play 3 or 4 of, but like the Demigod you're probably only playing 1 or 2 of. The King Diamond you're only going to play 1 of. This card you're probably only going to play 1 of. There's a level 2 killer we'll see in a couple of slides that you might only play 1 of. Blue is a color it's easy to just kind of throw in whatever you're playing. This card's one of those cards. Again, because you have the Judy, this card becomes a bit more playable because you want to shuffle back stuff and be able to play her. I'm giving it a straight B.
Yeah, that's about where it is in Hololive too, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Only fun fact I could say about her is that she along with Austin Tejas was one of the new characters introduced in Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock, and
she does have a warrior form, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
We'll see that in a minute. She does also give me like, God, it's the. Am I thinking of Vampire Rock again? I don't think I'm thinking Hex Sisters, but like.
Are you talking about the Hex Girls from Scooby Doo?
It's again maybe it's Adam's Family. I'm trying to. It reminds me of someone very specific,
She
And
does
also
look like
vaguely some other people.
She does look like Morticia Adams a little bit, yeah.
I might have to sit down and figure that out. The only
Or
way I
whatever her
figure that
name
out
is.
is if I just go back and
Yeah.
Googling. No, yeah, they're right, Morticia.
Okay.
I remember Adam's family values.
Yeah.
Next guy.
All right, I get to review one of my favorite cards. So this is Pandora. Her ability is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may pay the cost, which is pay one, put one card from your hand into your clock. If you do, look at up to 6 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 Guitar Hero characters from among those. Reveal them to your opponent, put them to your hand, and then dump the other cards. So this card here is the level 0 Jolene from Stone Ocean. I absolutely love that card.
I was not playing this card initially, but I added it into the deck when I started playing the Kurt Cobain JC. This is a really good target for your JC.
Yeah.
It's the only clock plus in the set. I guess the Ricky also technically clock pluses from hand, but this is like the only like true on play from hand clock plus. So like if you're playing the Kurt, this card becomes like way more playable. And as it turns out, getting to just look at top 6 to add 2 can be pretty good. 6 card deck speed. If you're not playing the Midori combo, you'll definitely consider playing this just for the deck speed alone.
This is how you get your event into your clock if you just have it in hand after you clock.
That is true, yeah. You can try to dig for the event and then clock it with this. So you have to have the event by like turn 2. But if you do, yeah, cool, you're strapped in. Actually, that's not even true because you have the one card in green, the Shirley that can stock 2 from hand.
So you could do
So
turn
you could in theory start digging for this turn 1. Yeah.
Neat.
That huh. I gotta try that now, actually. That might be a reason to do it. That's definitely like a Volk move. Like, Volk is the kind of guy that played this card in Beaufry because he wanted to start brainstorming at turn 1. And I was like, why? You don't need to. He's like, yeah, but I gotta start plussing and go through my deck. And I was like, all right, you know what? Fair enough. I like it, though. It's probably like a B, but more testing required. This card is like a B at worst. It can only go up from where it's currently at. So
yeah, this is probably the best card to set up the experience condition for the Star Power event and the God of Rock. If you were to like go that route, then this is probably like your go-to card. And this little quick fun fact about her. So Pandora is definitely one of the original cast of characters for Guitar Hero. She's been in the series since the first game. I will say though, a lot of her appearances, like I guess her character design and appearance changes within each iteration. So this one here is from the Warriors of Rock game. So this, I would definitely say this is her best design. And let me tell you, if you look it up, her Guitar Hero 1 design is just a complete, it's almost basically a complete 180. Definitely the graphics are pretty rough, let's just say.
we're gonna see her original design in a couple slides, right?
So I haven't incorporated it because I will say getting screenshots for Guitar Hero 1 are very, very hard, especially if you want good quality screenshots. Like it's very difficult considering the game is like 20 years old.
This isn't even Pandora on this card. It's Judy. It's Casey Lynch that I'm seeing. So oops, wrong character. Wait. This This is also Pandora? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, this is sus. Let's move on.
All right. Our next card. Cool. This is Ted Nugent.
Woohoo! Yeah, Ted Nugent.
I've known that he was a rocker for a minute. It's just still funny to me. Anyway, this is Ted Nugent.
I'm trying to remember any of his songs. Is he the Bang the Drum All Day guy? No, that's not right. That's Todd Rundgren. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, so if you have 2 or more colors on your stage, this card gets plus 2,000 power, so swings at like 5k by playing the Guitar Hero game. And it's also a level 2 killer. It goes up to 11k when attacking into a level 2, provided you meet that very simple condition. So that's like, we're treating that as like a... What are we treating this as? Hold on. So the level 2 killer is like 1,000. So we're treating the 2 colors on stage as like a 4/3 multiplier on this card. I don't think it's that bad of a multiplier necessarily.
This card could be way bigger, couldn't it?
I think this card could be better. I think this card is under spec at the moment. Yeah. I think it would actually only like get to like 3,500, but that would still be 500 power it doesn't have currently. I think it would be fair if it swung at like base level 1 power. That seems like it would be fine. And then get to be like 11-5 against level 2s.
Isn't sorry, I'm just trying to remember. Isn't level 2 killer only 500 power?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same price as level 3 killer.
Just straight up, if the character you're facing is level 2, that's 1k power, but you could budget it so that if you had 2 or more other Guitar Hero characters and give it 6k that way, that would cut it in half.
Yeah,
That would give it 500.
Yeah, you could put a condition on it. I feel like it already is looking like it would sit at 3,500 because that 2 or more colors on stage really should be like a. I don't.
Yeah,
I really don't know. This is weird.
But getting the whole 2 or more characters to get the 6k would make this way more playable. It would make it so that if he was correctly statted, he could sit at 4k and be 12k swing into level 2s, which is the same power line as the Historia from AOT Final Season.
Right.
That's about where you want to
10.
be for level 2 killer. As written, this card was like so mid. Like if you want to kill level 2s, it's fine to play this, but like poor Ted Nugent. He's just like here.
He's also, because
If
he's
you-
a rare, maybe you do the one where it gives 4k and a soul.
Yeah, or something.
That would be.
I just this needs to be bigger for it to even be considered playing. It's like fine, but why would you not just play the Casey that gains 3,500 power and the on reverse effect? Like that card's already 8k with if you have the experience.
Yeah.
I don't
This
know.
one
That's
goes to
that's
11.
kind of where I'm at with it. Poor Ted Nugent.
So this is something I get. This is probably something I could probably go. I will definitely say I think this is a matter of I definitely wasn't knowledgeable on how much the first effect would cost, so I guess I played it a little too safe. So I probably that's definitely on me for not checking to confirm like if this was costed properly, if it was something that was warranted for it to be like over costed to like have it be so underpowered at like 3,000. But that's just something I probably consider probably could like maybe boosting it up to make it a little bit more viable. And I guess a little quick fun fact with this card or with Ted Nugent. So he is one of the along with Zach Wild that we talked about earlier. He's one of the guitar battles, one of the bosses that you face in World Tour. So he's the second to he's basically the second or the last guitar battle in a World Tour that you face. And then when you beat him in the guitar battle, you go straight into playing one of his signature cards. No, not signature cards. Sorry, signature songs. You play one of his signature songs called "Stranglehold."
Oh,
okay. Oh, I've never heard that song. I gotta go.
Also,
I gotta go.
and I will say, Ted Nugent's has quite a career. He's been around for quite some time. Definitely great musician, and he's definitely a character. Let's just say that.
That's unfortunately all I know about him is that he's a musician and he's a character, but I've never heard any of his music.
yeah, and then he's also
Funny
like
enough, I also remember that he's actually like a guest, like kind of like a guest character in Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
huh.
God. Neil Peart was a guest on
his
that
cameo
show
was pretty
too.
funny.
Wild.
All right, should we move on?
Nice character.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Warrior Pandora. She gets 500 power for each of your other characters, so 6k cross turn. And then when the Warrior Transformation Climax is placed, if you have another Guitar Hero character, you can choose one of the following effects to perform it. Either search your waiting room for the Star Power event and add it to hand, or search your deck for the Star Power event, reveal it, add it to hand, and shuffle. These combos are pretty good. A couple things on this. This is just like a quote-unquote normal combo. You don't get to resolve this from backstage. She has to be in the center stage for you to get the event. You do have to like play the climax because it searches or salvages the event. In a deck where you're trying to play this, you probably aren't playing the bag or door version of this combo. You probably do want to play the pants so you can like recur it turn after turn after turn. The combo on its own is fine. This card doesn't really play into any of the other potential shenanigans that the other warriors provide by existing. You know what I mean? Like we talked about in the last video, the Lars with the KC might be a potential thing you can do. The KC at level 0 getting to play into anything at level 1 or level 3 being a good implication. This card kind of just does its own thing. and its only role is to get you the star power event if you need it early. I think it's like fine. It's not the first thing I would sleeve, but I know that you had sleeved it. What did you? What was it like for you playing it, Desmond?
Honestly, when I played it with choice, I actually was enjoying it quite a bit. Like, granted, even though like the demigod, like as like when we were talking about it, using star power is kind of antithetical to play in with the demigod. But I mean, the fact that you can use the star power just for in terms of like using it for just the effect to look up to 4 and have the deck speed is kind of
Yeah,
nice.
it's like deck control.
Yeah, and also having access to the gate was also really nice as well. Just overall, yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a pretty solid combo. Just through and through, very very decent combo. Like if you wanted to like play, I guess if you wanted to play a focus of blue, I definitely think this is a good combo to go into.
I think I'm going to say what I said last time I talked about it. I think like if you were going to play the choice, the pants combo,
Yeah.
I would just play the Warrior Johnny level 1 with the pants climax instead of this. But if you are playing the star power event to like play it as part of your game plan, this card is kind of the best level 1 you can play with it since it's also just blue. But for me, like it's about here for me.
A little bit to kind of explain the flavor here with this combo. So Warrior Pandora, her power is called a Star Power Nova. So she's the one that basically boosts your star power multiplier. She boosts it by like 6 or something like that, or was it 3? And that might have been her initial power, but I think it was like it boosts up to like 6. So she's basically gonna shoot your like star power multiplier like through the roof. Pretty much, I figured she'd be. I think this would fit well with the star power event. Would fit well with her just due to the name of her power. I just think Star Power Nova sounds like really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the flavor of this card.
If you ever like do an extra booster for this set where you print like the Corone memory card to give the star power event counter, I think this card like instantly shoots up in playability because then this just becomes the Miku from Quince. I guess that's not a good comparison. It becomes Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally just Goblin Slayer, right?
Yeah,
100%.
I actually,
Yeah.
you mentioned it, and that's actually where I got that combo from. It was from Quince that I built this card off of.
Yeah. So if you have like the memory Corona in your extra booster to give the star power event counter, this becomes like super premium because it just becomes the Goblin Slayer. 6k cross turn, it gets you the event, and then you can just kind of sit on it defensively and just get good deck control. But as printed right now, it's just about here. This card has like the most potential of everything with more support, but like as is, it's like just kind of okay.
Goblin Slayer on gate. Yeah, I can see that being pretty good.
Goblin Slayer with a worse event target, though.
I mean, isn't Torch just check 4?
It's check 4 on a counter, though.
So with the Coronet, it becomes check 4 with a counter and upside?
Yes. I guess when you put it that way,
it becomes better Goblin Slayer.
Yes.
Yes. Which is fine, because Goblin Slayers are like a little bit of a lagging combo compared to what we have nowadays.
Well, the other thing, too, is that because this goes with any warrior transformation, this is potentially playable with
Door,
gate choice, door, bag, or standby. So, like, it's even more upside.
Goblin Slayer! Spyro would be in conniptions.
Maybe don't do that, actually. Maybe don't print the Corona.
Test it. I recommend testing it. It sounds like fun. Let's see if this next card sounds like fun.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Actually, better idea.
Oh.
No, that's stupid. Never mind. Forget it. We're going to say anything.
All right. So this is Pandora Rocks the 80s. So she's a 2/1 counter, and when you use this this card's backup, if you have 2 or more colors on your stage, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Guitar Hero character from among them. Reveal it to your opponent. Put it to your hand. Dump the rest, and it's a 2,500 backup.
This is from when she traveled back in time and went to prom with her dad, right?
Oh boy. I will say when we get to it, the silliest face in this whole entire set is gonna be Izzy Sparks, the Rocks the 80s version. Like that face of his is just it's something. Let's just say that.
Oh, good.
This card, I got inspiration of this card from the Hestia knife.
Huh.
Oh, so this is your torch.
More or less, yeah. If you put it that way, yeah. It's Torch as a character.
Some preliminary data. The only backup I could find that had color condition was if you have 4 more colors on stage, pay 1 free fresh, which is obviously a Bang Dream card. Thank you, Chisato. And then we have the curious note that this is a 2500 backup at sitting at 3k power with this effect on it, which is a little odd, but they also kind of just tend to do this now and again. So like the normal price for something like this, like there's like the accelerate backup, the Ruka, but I think that's either a 1/1 or a 1/0. I'm pretty sure you can start doing her like early. Same card that they also put in Hall Alive because they were mad lads and decided to push Myth Accelerate for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that counter. That's right. Okay.
That also gives 1k power. Okay. Maybe the power budgeting isn't right on this, but I think the effect is definitely something within Bushiroad's potential catalog. Yeah. It's like, maybe power's off, but yeah, I think this would be an interesting thing to see.
It's like this reads like a real effect, but it probably should be like 1k power or like 500 power, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like 2k, 1500, something like that.
Yeah. I've not tried this card yet, but in theory, it's good. There are some decks like we were talking about the Kobeni counter. This set also has that, where you can just like when you use it, you can choose yourself or your opponent to mill 3. This card you can only look at yourself, but you get to like effectively mill up to 4, and instead of just straight milling, you get to add a character.
Mm-hmm.
So this card technically pays a stock to pump a character and replace itself, which is just like really good. Like this card effectively goes +1 if you consider it that way, which is potentially really good. I don't know. Like on paper, it's probably somewhere in B tier for me. I haven't tested it yet, so I don't know if it's like a high B or low B tier card, but it's playable for sure.
Yeah, I mean that condition is super easy to meet.
Yep.
And then I guess before we move on, just one little quick fun fact about not pertaining to this card particularly, but I guess about the game Guitar Hero Rocks the 80s. So that game particularly was actually the last game that Harmonix, the original developer for Guitar Hero, that was their last Guitar Hero game before they made Rock Band.
Unlucky.
The last one before they fell to the dark side.
Hey, Rock Band slaps. It just sucks that they had worse developers for the rest of the Guitar Hero games.
Yeah, they definitely cheesed it a little too much.
Yeah, they just didn't have Harmonix anymore, and then they had to milk the series dry for all it was worth.
The only gripe I have with Rock Band is that I was not a fan of their instruments, their controllers, because I don't know. I just feel like their input responses were just not there. I feel like it could have been better.
This year, I went to a New Year's Eve party, and we played Rock Band 3 and Rock Band 2, and we did karaoke, and it was like the most fun I've had in years. So like, I have to respect Rock Band for that.
Understandable. All right.
Oh boy.
Back away from Rock Band, back onto Heroes with guitars. Except this man has no guitar.
JB, you get the what? Like honestly, unironically, like this guy. Look at him. He's just such an angry lad, right? I overlooked this card in testing, but he's so good. He just pays dividends.
Can we actually flip the script a bit?
You want me to read this?
I want you to read this, and then I want to go be at the end of the rotation from this point on. I have this very specific card I want to be the one to talk about, so you go ahead and read this.
You want to talk about... Yeah, I got you. Okay, I already know. Okay, so Matty Cans, if you have another, specifically the Marcus Shredder JC or the Ricky Lee Summon Ricky or the Shirley Crowley level 1 combo, he gets orange on stage. Very important because he gains the orange. He doesn't gain random color that already exists. He gains the orange.
The orange.
If you have him on your stage, all your other characters get 500 power cross turn. Act. Rest this card. Choose one of your characters. It gets 1,000 power and the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reverse, kick it to bottom deck. This card, I was playing freaking the demigod or the god of rock, right? I go up against Desmond, right? And he's just like, bro, I'm just going to put this card in here, right? And then he's just like, I'm gonna play this back here. All right, I play the stock bomb Axel, and he goes, all right, I play Maddie. Rest Maddie, give character skill, and I was like, wait, what are you doing? And he just fucking sinks my Axel, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, well, surely he won't do it again. And I was like, wait, all I can feel is Midori. So I have the Midori, right? And he just goes, all right, do it again. All right, your Midori is gone. Like I'm biased because I was like playing this set into this card, but unironically, this card pays so many dividends. The Global 5 is good. Getting to give character on reverse, like kick character to bottom deck is good. This is already a card that you might play as a one of, but the fact that he gets orange means he's also playable in Slash with your Shirley level 1 combo. It's just so good. If you have this with the Marcus, right? You
Yeah.
have red, yellow, orange, and blue on your stage, and you just need green. And guess what? Slash is already green.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect, like, the card itself is like good to whatever, but like the fact that this card plays into your orange field conditions so easily in 8-bar is just gush.
Isn't that the color that
So,
Slash
so
gets himself?
yes, but like the fact that like if
You play one other guy and you have the other three colors, yeah.
right, exactly, yeah. And also like okay, so JB, I've gushed about this card. We've had a burning question for you because Desmond based this off of the Mantis from Marvel. So now I need you to tell us: is this card correctly statted?
Let me go check. So he's resting himself to give any character 2k worth of abilities.
Correct.
So no. It needs to be traded,
All right.
and I think it needs to both be traded and like target and
So the way,
only give 500 power.
yeah, the way that I said this was if you can make it, give it 500 power and the bottom deck effect, and that would be fine. Or you could make him 1k base and just have him rest himself to give the bottom deck kick. Because if you made him 1k base and then rest self to give bottom deck kick, then he would be in line with the King from Seven Deadly Sins and also that card from Da Capo that does the exact same thing. Those are both 1500 power, but they kick to clock instead of bottom deck. And we all know kick to bottom deck costs 500 power more than kick to clock or stock.
They also don't
So,
like giving this. Actually, I'm wrong again. Because it's not a level 0 Muna that has this effect. There's a level 2 Muna that has this. And it costs 1500 power to just get the rest give any character bottom deck kick.
yeah.
So that's actually 2500 worth of abilities. So it needs to be, yeah, it needs to drop the drop the power boost, and then it still sits at 500.
Even so, getting to bottom deck shoot characters is still good. But like
yeah.
as printed, the plus 1k, even if it's
insane.
plus 500 power, it pays dividends in so many matchups. Actually,
Yeah, which explains
like,
why it's too good mathematically.
yeah. Well put, Desmond. Cards cracked.
Yeah.
just like turn 2, like bottom deck. Your opponent's like one guy. It's like,
Yep.
Man, that's rough.
Start killing them.
That's
If you
rough.
like let's say you play the 3k, like you play the Shirley Futaba, right? You get the marker, she's 3k. You slam this guy, he's global 5. You rest it. You give the Shirley 500 power and bottom deck shoot. Now you can kill your opponent's Aqua. Just hard remove it. Boom, gone.
Yeah, it cannot give power, and also give these effects don't give power and the reversal effects. Like they might be like assists or global powers, but they don't give you like extra power on top of it for a reason. There's a point where it gets to be excessive. You just play it on 8RA big guy instead of turning like your like 1500 weenie into something that just kills any utility card. That's where I'm at on it. Does seem like fun, and the orange is very fitting because I mean, just look at this man. There's never been a more orange man, except for like the Thing. I think the Thing actually does play drums at some point. I get the feeling.
Yeah, no. As we were playing it, yeah, this card is insane. It's absolutely nuts. It's definitely something I'll probably have to nerf just because like how ridiculous it was in testing. But yeah, I mean, it's card's busted. That's the best way to describe it.
As long as Hololive is playable, this card will be good. Honestly,
As long as any deck with on-death effects is playable, this card is good. As long as they're not just doing things on their turn, and they're absolutely like most decks cannot just play like 20 level zeros that only do things on their turn. and
Like
expect
the on death Ricky, on death drop search, on death Fuka Zero. This card outs all those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wild.
And then yeah, and I guess before we move on, yeah, as you can see, Matty Cans is basically the last member of the 4 main characters of World Tour. The man is very angry, and if you watch his cutscene, he's very much that. He just wants to just destroy things and just cause all kinds of destruction.
He wants to eat those drums. I mean, beat those drums.
I will say his ending cutscene is really funny.
What happens?
Basically, when you complete the career mode with the drums, the ending cutscene is him. He literally goes to like this remote island, and he's in this bunker, and for whatever reason, he freaking like rigged his drum set to where as he's beating the drums and all that, it set off all like these like explosives and all like this C4 that's all over the island, and it gets to a point where like he basically just essentially nukes the whole island.
What?
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. He literally yeeted himself.
That's incredible. That feels like something a rock drummer would do. It's like that's how someone absolutely went out. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do this cool stunt. I'm gonna like get it filmed. I don't care if I make it out. I'm doing this. It'll be fun. And then just boom, rip. All right, next card.
So this is Axel Steel, Casey Lynch, Judy Nails, and Johnny Napalm. His first effect is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a Guitar Hero character, put it to your hand, and then choose a card in your hand and discard it. And then second ability is put a card from your hand into your waiting room, and then sack this character. If you do, choose one Guitar Hero character in your waiting room, and return it to your hand. So this card here, I based this off of the Lloyd in Spy Family.
Yep.
Really good.
It is a good card.
A very good
Yep.
helmet.
I am HO. That Lloyd is like the most underutilized card in Spy Family. Like, I cannot believe that card isn't played more. It's just a double filter. Like, obviously the one that like the card that like lets you ditch a pants to look at top 6 is cracked. So a lot of people opt to play that, but like sometimes the double filter is way more relevant. If it wasn't for the fact that this set had Steve and Joe in it, the James Ironwood, this card would probably be an A+ for me. But like that card is way better, and it synergizes with the Kurt Cobain JC. So like for me, like in Spy Family, I played this card at like 3 or 4. In this set, I've only ever I only ever sometimes play one of this card. I usually go for the Ironwood instead. So it ends up being like a B or B-, but like the card itself is absolutely cracked. It's just that there's so many other cracked cards in this set.
It does have the consistency of just like it gets you your finisher like at the end game. There are definitely going to be points you need this rather than it also combos with like a Rico effect too because it's no, it's not top check. It kind of is top.
It's
check.
a real ad.
If you miss, then it is top confirmed for a Rico.
Yep.
Which is not nothing.
Yeah, you could play like a 2-1 split or a 3-1 split of the Ironwood and this, or you could just rely on your brainstorm to get your finisher. Either way, this card is stockless, so
yeah,
that can matter.
Fun fact about the art for this card, what I screenshotted here, it's basically this is the cover art that was used for Guitar Hero World Tour, and this was used on the official Xbox Live, not Xbox Live, the Xbox magazine.
Yeah, I see why. That's very good art.
Yeah, good art. I support it.
But this is where Echo. When this card attacks, choose one of your other Guitar Hero characters. That character gets X power till end of turn, or X the number of other Guitar Hero characters you have times 500. And also, when this card attacks, all of your characters get the following ability to end of turn. Hit a climax when this card triggers a climax to salvage a Guitar Hero character. This is the Testament from Guilty Gear, if I'm not mistaken, or something very close to it.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And I remember her being.
I could definitely say this is definitely kind of like sort of like pack filler here, just because I would say by this point I kind of was like running kind of low on ideas of like what I could do in terms of like warrior abilities, and at that point I was just kind of like I just make like some like generic stuff that's like okay.
Sometimes it's what you gotta do.
It's somewhere in here for me. I've not tested this card yet. In decks we were playing bar or pants. In theory, this card's playable. It can pump one of your characters to help it get a reverse. That's kind of nice. But like the set has Ironwood. You don't really need the extra hand filter. But it's not bad.
So a little bit about Warrior Echo. So her warrior ability is Star Power Generator. And what she does is every time you hit 10 notes in a song, you basically generate 10% of your star power. So I will say her ability is one of the better ones in terms of like the other warriors. And just coming from experience when I played Warriors of Rock back in the day, pretty much if you're like playing like on expert mode and you use her ability, and if you end up getting star power pretty much very early on into the song, if you manage your star power correctly, like if you activate it at the right time, because whenever you hit star power notes in a song, it's laid out in a specific way. So you kind of have to like there is a strategy to when you want to use it. So if you use the star power at the right time, you can potentially with her warrior ability, if you do it right, you can actually have her star power last you like basically almost like 75 to 80% of the song. Like it's absolutely nuts. Like she can like yeah, she can definitely help you maintain your star power throughout like majority of the song, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, because you just gotta keep up this streak, and then fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
she would also be a card that a character that could end up being the Coronev, like level 0 effect.
Yeah.
Would also be kind of fitting for her. All right, next up.
I have beef with this card, but I will talk about it. This is Echo Shreds. Go look up other people shredding on YouTube. It's pretty good. Like Prince, good. If you look up Prince shreds, you get a pretty cool video. If you look up Weird Al shreds, you get a pretty cool video. You look up Echo Shreds, I don't know what you get, so maybe don't. I don't know. Maybe don't Google that. But this card's pretty good. On play, you can pay one, ditch one to choose a climax in your opponent's. Well, I guess your opponent chooses the climax in the waiting room, and then they return all cards to their deck. So it is a Fumio. Pay one, ditch one Fumio. We like that. And then you can put this card into your waiting room to choose one of your opponent's characters and return it to their hand. I'm hoping this is based off a real card.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Denji from Chainsaw Man. I
Yeah.
play this card.
Okay.
It's real.
In that case, fucking great. There it is. Like I said before, blue is so easy to fix in this set. Like you're gonna play one of the Maddie, you're gonna play like 2 or 3 of the Xavier, and you're gonna play probably one of the Echo refresh or the Echo Refresh. So all you need to do is like play a couple of the Pandora Ricky, and you have enough blue to like play this card. In some sets, your Fumio is off color, right? But even in Bochi the Rock, right, you play enough yellow in that set that you can just squeeze in the Fumio. Same with this set. Regardless of how many colors you're playing, it's so easy to just put this in whenever you need it. In standby, this card's cracked because you can get it out for free, and even though you don't get to Fumio, cool. You can just sack it to bounce on your opponent's characters, and then just use the gang TM to get this card back from your waiting room right afterwards.
Yeah.
So if you have all the stock for it, it's so much utility on one card. It's actually pretty insane. Is this card also an uncommon in Chainsaw Man?
Yes.
That is insane to me. That is so crazy. But no, yeah, cards great.
I like Chainsaw Man after all, so that's all I could really say.
I noticed.
I mean, you play it enough to get top 8 with it. You have to enjoy
Funny
it.
enough, it's kind of funny how like I went from like using AOT as a framework for Assassin's Creed, and I just completely flipped to like just using mostly like Chainsaw Man with Guitar Hero.
Like I feel like this set has a bit of a better blend of profiles, even with like the color
definitely.
shenanigans being Avatar related, Orange coming out of nowhere being a very original like addition. Honestly, you've done a better job of like going abroad.
Yep, I actually took time to actually do some research and search a little bit more into other sets, and not just be like, oh, so this set I like playing. I'm just gonna just make a more busted version of it.
What if Avatar, but with Chainsaw Man cards?
Yeah. Like I said before, at least he didn't print the frickin' Sokka. Like, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh god, Sokka. So would be fun. Only half standby too. All right. Anyway, this is
All
not the
right.
same person as the other Pandora. It's what?
I know. That's why I was like freaking out earlier because I was like, "There's no way this is the same character."
That's so wild.
I kid you not. I had no idea until I was making this set that like this is actually Pandora in the Nintendo DS game Guitar Hero on Tour. Like
Oh.
I thought this was a completely original character in that game.
Huh.
Yeah, it took me a lot of
Insane.
digging to kind of figure that out.
Yeah, I can see why. Wild.
Yeah. It's basically unless you actually played the game, which personally me, I've never played the Guitar Hero DS games because I never had a DS, in my
Mm.
childhood at the time. So I never got to basically know, like, I basically had no clue that this was Pandora this whole entire time until now. But anyways, yeah, this is Pandora on tour. So first ability is this ability activates up to one time per turn. When you play an event, this card gets 2,000 power and the following ability until end of turn. Continuous effect during this card's battle, your opponent cannot play events or backup from hand. And then second ability is during the turn that this card is placed on stage from your hand, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost, which is pay one, discard two Guitar Hero characters. If you do, restand her. So this card, I actually got this card based off of Hawkeye from Marvel Volume 1 because I really like that card a lot. And then the first effect with the preventing your opponent from being able to play backups or events. That card, I kind of got that idea from Bang Dream.
Oh. I'm trying to figure out the. Okay. What is the Hawkeye's other effect besides the restand?
So
It's like a
Hawkeye is
Shimatase, right?
on attack, he gets power equal to the number of other Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, he gets a maximum of a 2K.
So that restand is his level 3 effect. Okay, so that is a potential cost for that. I guess that tracks. Because that's equivalent to pay 2, pitch 2 on reverse. Okay, sure.
They do occasionally undercost restand effects to make them level 3 effects.
The one that I know for sure is like, I was looking for it in my chart, right? Because I was looking for like pay 1, pitch 2 trait. And I didn't find it. That's probably maybe just because I'm looking on my phone. So I didn't exactly have like the easy access search. I think it works out. The when you play an event, this gets to like it's getting like 3K worth of effects on that. I guess, but that's a little bit weird to me. Do you remember what Bang Dream card you got that effect from?
If I recall correctly, it was like a level 3. And I remember it was a red card particularly.
Okay.
It might have been either from a trial deck or if it was from, I believe it might have been Volume 1. I'm not the
Good
most
luck.
well versed with Bang Dream. There's just very few
Yeah.
here and there cards that I do particularly remember.
Good luck going through every level 3 red Bang Dream card, JB.
Don't worry, we don't have to go that hard on it. So having cannot play events or backups isn't actually giving me any Bang Dream cards. The one card that came up was the is this 2/1 Saya that's rest this card in one of your other characters if you have an event in waiting room to give another character 500 power and during this card's battle no events or backups. So this is truly mysterious where this effect has come from.
Well, the good news is you can always find it and then put it in the edit, so people can laugh at us for not knowing where this came from.
Oh, I think I found it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Poppin' Party Kasumi Toyama. Oh, it's a trial deck card. So, okay, so it was as I was saying. Oh, yeah, so it's the trial deck card.
All right.
Okay. Why didn't it come up in the search? Maybe it's some sort of. Oh no. Okay.
Well-
Go back. Make that. Drip that. Live it. It's fine. We search.
I think
we
it's
see
just
this
from
card.
the first set, right?
Yeah, correct. Yep,
Yeah.
the very beginning, pretty much very first set.
Holy
Jeez.
what? Okay. This card says during your turn, if the number of other music characters you have is 4 or more,
Oh yeah.
it gets 5K and no backups.
Yeah, that's a. Yeah, because it's a it's a 1K effect, and then the during your turn if you have 4 or more it's a 6x multi, so it's 1K for that, and then she has 500 for the on play deal one.
It's a 6x multiple. Jesus Christ! All right.
During your turn if you have full board, yeah, that's a 6x multi. So actually, what we have here.
When you play an
play
event, it's a 3x multi, activates 1 time per turn.
Is play an event 3x multi? My god.
I don't know.
That's the question. So you know what? We're just gonna put that, and future me will correct me. I don't know. Would you run this in a thing?
Well, it is generic. It's more generic than the Eddie Van Halen. Like if you're playing like a quote unquote normal deck, there's no downside to just put this in as like another blue card or just like as another card to play to. Um, I don't think there's any special like deck that you would play this in. It's just another card that can help you push damage. It's like fine. I haven't found space for it yet, but in theory there is a deck that can play this.
Fair enough. All right. Nice stuff.
All right.
Behold the fangirls. All right,
Hooray.
so this set has an army card. This card gets plus 2,000 power for each of the fangirls in your center stage. So you get 3 lanes of this. They're all 5k. This is the Guitar Hero waifu wall.
Yeah.
All 3 of the designs are cute. I like it.
Yeah.
This is the entire reason I wanted to be the one to read this card. This is an art. Like, I don't think there's really a particular incentive to play like a fangirl army deck of any kind, because there isn't any payoff to it. But like, if you ever just need blue for reasons,
the main problem with this card is that it's off trait.
Yeah, that too.
Like,
you're right.
In Attack on Titan, you would justify playing this card at 0 in the Titan deck because it was a good defensive card. In the Scooby-Doo set, I decided to print it as like an option for the monster deck. And I also know that like Spyro and some other people have said this card is off budget. Like, they might be right, but also this card was printed in AOT set 1, and it doesn't see any play unless you're playing the Titan deck for the memes.
It's
like
budget
fringe
for the opposite reason, right? It's actually like small.
Yeah. If this was like a music traded character or like anything, this would be like fringe playable, but because it's off trade, it's just like I'm not gonna be mean to the fangirls, but it's like F for like fans, you know, like F for fans.
This does
F
mean
for OnlyFans.
Yeah, the Guitar Hero is a set you can build an OnlyFans deck in.
Yep.
42 fans, 2 climaxes at 8.
In the parentheses.
And
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, subscribe. By the way, if you're watching and you look like this, go make sure you subscribe to JB's OnlyFans.
So I don't have an OnlyFans, but if you want to support me in my ongoing endeavor to fill your life with custom card content, I have a coffee now. Link in the description. Thanks for the perfect sponsor plug, Moment Gadget.
He really needs the money, and he appreciates every cent you can give.
Oh boy. So a little fun fact about this card. I'm surprised I was able to get this screenshot. It took me a couple tries to get this one. This is from a cutscene in Guitar Hero 3. This is basically when you're about to start when you go to the Tokyo venue. Yeah, these are basically Japanese girls that are major fans of the band. And and there you have it.
Actually, it's funny that they're Japanese. I was gonna like the next card we're gonna talk about. I actually have a like a fun fact about, but one of the best albums of all time is like Cheap Trick live at Budokan. Budokan's like a really popular Japanese concert venue. Lots of bands have played there. It is surreal hearing them play like "I Want You to Want Me" and have the fans literally just scream over the chorus. Like, it's absolutely wild. Japanese fans just go so hard for music sometimes. So yeah, it's actually like really, really cool flavor to have that be in the set. But like, this card's not playable. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
It's the Johnny and me that just keeps saying, yeah, the card's cool. I would never play this. I would never sleeve this, you know, like.
Yeah, this does not roll into any deck, but it's nice that it's here.
But it is cool. This is like if I had like if this was a real card, I would get like 50 copies of this and like put them in a binder or something.
Pull 50 SR copies of the army card.
Just like common versions, you know.
God. All right. I'm satisfied. Next card.
All right. So this is what Memphis Rose. Yeah. All right. So if you have a pants trigger in your climax area, this card in your deck gets the color orange when it's put into your waiting room by a climax combo or a replay effect. If you're playing 8 pants, this card becomes a payoff. Like Tom Morello will mill this, and it'll be both blue and orange. So it'll be like a winning, definitely winning. If you mill this off of Eddie Van Halen, Eddie will see this as both blue and orange. So it's just kind of incidental. Oops, I moved the card. It's like incidental like support for like those guys and other cards that want to mill colors. And then while it's on stage, if you play an event, you get to just put it into your stock. So like over the course of the game, you can just have these kind of go to your stock whenever you need that extra stock. It's kind of like whatever. I haven't found a reason to play this because you basically have to be on 8 pants for this to work. But if you do have 8 pants, cool. This card's like fine. It's probably like a C.
This is an odd one because
Yeah.
the first effect, which is it probably is just like a costless bonus effect because it is just a color effect and like conditional in that way. Like that wants you to be playing it obviously in like an 8 pants deck for that kind of purpose, but then play an event, go to stock, almost feels like it would be better to go with like the Rush 2112 thing as just like a way to that like mitigate the fact that you have to pay stock out of that, just being always like,
Ooh.
you get one for free
True.
off of it, which is very, very interesting. I don't know.
I definitely cooked with this card. This is probably the most experimental card I did in this set, just because like that effect is definitely very original. Just like not a whole lot of cards really have this kind of effect, so I just kind of just made it on the fly. Thought, hey, it'd be kind of cool. Like if you mill something, it gets a color. So it was like, hopefully,
Yeah.
something be interesting and viable. Especially in terms of if you're playing the Tom Morello finisher or if you're playing Eddie Van Halen when you're doing his eruption replay effect. So yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like it's like an okay card, but like I think for flavor, it's not bad.
Who is Memphis Rose anyway?
Memphis Rose is also another one of those characters in on the On Tour series. I think she might have been. I think Modern Hits. I think it was either Modern Hits or the On Tour Decades game. Once again, I never played any of those games because I didn't have a DS. But like, there's definitely some very random OCs or pretty much characters that were exclusive to the On Tour series that like are pretty much not well known. The DS games kind of weren't like on the same scale compared to like the main series.
Yeah, I'm lucky. My bonus fact is so Memphis Rose's guitar here is a Gibson Explorer, which is my favorite shape of guitar ever. I don't know. I just think it's so cool. I like how like it's angular without it feeling like bad aesthetically. It's so cool. James Hetfield from Metallica typically plays the Gibson Explorer. If you go on Wikipedia, the picture they have of Brian Bell from Weezer has him playing a Gibson Explorer. And also Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick also plays the Gibson Explorer typically. Actually, if you look up the Edge from U2, the picture they have for him also has him using a Gibson Explorer, which is kind of cool. This is such an iconic guitar. Gibson has really cool guitar shapes, just in general. I just really like this one. I think it's cool.
Speaking of Gibsons, for those who actually remember, if you're a boomer millennial, as I like to say a lot, but yeah, you actually could get a guitar controller that was shaped like the Gibson Explorer if you got the Xbox 360 port of Guitar Hero 2. It's the only one that exists like of its kind, and I will say also, it's also funny enough, it is the most popular controller out of all the guitar controllers in the series. Because I could tell you, if you're playing like if you're playing Clone Hero, which I have and I absolutely love it. Great game. So if you're looking to get one of the guitar controllers and play it on your PC to play Clone Hero, the Gibson Explorer is definitely the most popular controller to use for Clone Hero.
Got it. I was trying to remember. I had Guitar Hero on tour for quite a while, but when I moved, I had to get rid of it. And I can't remember if I had the Explorer controller, but I definitely had the Les Paul controller for that. It was the PS2 version though, which is why I'm like not sure if I had the Explorer or not, because like I said, that one was for the Xbox exclusively. Anyway, JB, do you have anything to say about this?
Random fact that I was trying to figure out if Memphis Rose meant anything. Apparently, they're a Johnny Cash tribute band that is called Memphis Rose. So
Cool.
that's a connection.
That explains the hat.
Yeah. that does explain the hat. All right, next up.
All right. Female singer. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may draw up to X cards. If you do, put X cards from your hand into your waiting room. X is equal to the number of colors your characters have on your stage. This is completely another experimental card that I made. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to add like a draw filter that's dependent on how many colors you have, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to have like a way to draw like multiple cards and then kind of hand fix whatever you need. And then hopefully, assuming that I might have potentially, I don't know if having that color condition would make it, I guess, less power, but I'm hoping I might have potentially budgeted this correctly.
So if you have 5 colors on stage, you get to just draw 5 and then ditch 5.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, you end up going like -1 on it because you had to play a card from a hand to get the effect, but like you don't lose any additional advantage off of it. There are events that do this, except they let you refund the event that you played as well. Like Overlord Volume 2 has one, I know for sure, and they've printed it a couple of times. It is not an unusual effect. The idea, I think 1K is about where I would value it as well. And if I'm wrong, future me will correct me. I like a lot on him, as usual.
Why would you ever play this when you have Ironwood?
Because I drew 5 climaxes, and I need to draw the last 3 climaxes in my deck, obviously.
God, why are you right?
I mean, D for draw. I mean,
draw.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, drawing plus.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in a terrible deck state. This card just does let you rip 5 clean cards and then just ditch however many. But like you could also accomplish that with a brainstorm and not need all 5 colors on board.
Yeah, but this way you're guaranteed to go neutral instead of like losing stock and a potential attack.
All right, cool, JB. You know what? You just earned a homework assignment. What characters are you gonna play on stage with this to let you optimally draw?
You need everything except blue. I think the only thing you're missing with just a Shirley and a Maddie is yellow. So yeah, like the 3 of them get it done, or just like Maddie, Shirley, and a yellow level 0, which there are level 0s in yellow you
Or
consider playing.
If you're at level 2, you could play the singer, the drummer, and the bassist.
If you were so inclined, yes. That could be a thing you could do. Yeah, there's definitely... There's no small number of ways to get it, and you can do it in like 3 characters.
I don't know. This card is just like, I guess if you're playing those like weird niche decks that are trying to get 4 color. You know what else? If you're playing the Star Power event with this, like if you manage to get this in like the Star Power event in your experience, the God of Rock just makes this go as hard as you want it to. So like that's a potential implication there. But like I don't know.
Even if you don't have 5, draw 3, pitch 3 isn't bad either.
Yeah. Even draw 4, pitch 4 is pretty easy to do in this set. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you have deck slots for this, given how many other good cards there are in the set, but it is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the fate of most of these mulligan cards.
So, quick fun fact about female singer. So she appears in the first 3 Guitar Hero games. They stopped using her after Guitar Hero 3. So the purpose of her character is that anytime there were any songs in Guitar Hero that had a female singer, they will replace the male singer with the female singer, and then she would show up at any pretty much for those specific songs.
Yep. she has, it's like the same vibe as just like the singer, but oh god, that could have been a real fun like switcheroo thing potentially, but nah, it's all good. All right, this guy, he's back. This is God of Rock, Hall of Fame. He's opened the gates. On death, pitch a card to salvage a copy of Star Power Activate, and on reverse, early play killer bottom deck bomb. 2,500. I remember being iffy on this budget.
Ditch Bond 2 event is like probably like 1K power, maybe.
It's 500.
It's on death. It's on death. So yeah, 500 even.
It's the same price as on play, like pitch trade search. Like those are cool.
And this is a bottom deck Adachi, so like it is going to be smaller than a regular Adachi.
UK 500 35. It would need something else to make it smaller to get it to 2,500.
And non-core?
Traitless hand. No, just you could get to 3K with Hand Encore. You need like 1K worth of effects, so maybe you just give it to Saul. Or you just have a 3500 bottom deck Adachi as your a common.
3500 is completely fine.
Yeah.
My notes on this card are: it's an Adachi. If you want to play an Adachi, this is what you play. It has the nice upside of getting to ditch bond to the event if you're playing the event. But like for me, when I first sleeved up this set, I was going for 4 of the event to do the demigod, or I keep calling him demigod. It's just God of Rock, the God of Rock level 0. And I was like, oh, cool. This card can ditch bond to your event. So I'll play like one of this. And then I realized, oh, wait, it's on death ditch bond to the event, which is like way, way too slow for it to matter. So like it's cool that it can do it, but for me it doesn't make any difference. It's just a straight C for me. If you need an Adachi, here it is. But like, don't forget this set has a level 1 anti-change counter, which is a ditch 2. So like I don't think you ever play this, but if you need to, here it is.
You could double time it if you wanted to keep the synergy of bomb that on death gets you a thing.
I guess.
That would put it like 3K. That'd be interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Neat.
I guess what I did with this card is I kind of got this card. Wasn't it like Happy Chaos, whatever his name is called in Guilty Gear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that card. Yeah, I kind of got the idea from him, and like, so the first ability, because I know with Happy Chaos he like sends something to memory if you have like 1 or less. So I just kind of tweaked that effect to see if I could add something kind of interesting. So that's pretty much how I got this card more or less. And then so pretty much with this card, to explain kind of like the cutscene here. This is from Guitar Hero Smash Hits. Basically, at the end of the game, when you defeat Lou, during the story, Lou was basically he basically was impersonating the God of Rock. Your band basically catches him. They realize that he was being sus, so then they catch him, and then they beat Lou. And then at the end, basically, the God of Rock basically invites you to the Hall of Fame.
Huh.
Good old Lou, the original Sussy Baka.
because Sasubaka originated in the 2000s. Definitely. God. All right.
Der Trommeler. Batterista. Der Schlagworker. That's right, yeah. Those are all 4 language names of the drummer. Also the names of Neil Peart's iconic drum solos from the 2000s.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So if you have the bassist or the singer on stage, he gets orange. So like very nice. I mentioned before, like you could play this with the singer in a green deck to have him also gain orange. So he fulfills the same role as the Maddie.
Yeah, because they're both drummers.
He's a level assist, and he has act rest this card to draw 1, ditch 1. I know this card exists. I don't remember what set it's in, but like if you need a level 2 level assist with this random hand filter effect, like it's not bad, and it also gets orange. It's like probably here for me.
Oh, there is a significant typo on it currently.
Yeah.
It doesn't set the multiplier on the character's level, so it just gives them 1 to 3 power.
Oh shoot! Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh dang! Well then, as I said, your cash. I didn't even realize that.
You know what's funny about that is technically giving 3 power is the equivalent of assist 500. So like,
oh god,
you could keep it the way it is and like just increase its power by a little bit because 500 assists is only like 500 power.
You know what's hilarious? You know what's crazy? You know what's really crazy though. Right now, this card is actually like 1500 over spec. A card. So Azure Lane Trial Deck, the green one, has this profile. It's 2500 power.
Really?
Oh
Yeah,
god.
that draw effect is so it's because it's not traded level assist, which triples the cost from a traded level assist. So it costs you like 3K, and then the draw effect is like 15. No, more than 15. The draw effect it's priced at 15 on this card, the drummer, but it's priced at like 3K
Because that seems odd because I based this card off of the Luke assist from Star Wars Premium Booster. I made a little bit of slight change because he's a 2K assist to level 3s. I
That's
changed
why.
this to a level assist.
Uh
And
huh.
he has that same last effect to draw one ditch one.
Okay,
And he's at 4K.
that change is in fact a massive change because level 3 assist is only 1500. Level assist is 3K when it's not traded.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this was traded level assist, it would be correct probably, but non-traded is.
No, it would still be wrong. I think it maybe was wrong in the other direction at that point. Yeah, no, the assists are wildly different prices depending. There is a formula to them. I have that spreadsheet with those on it, but yeah. God. All right.
I do like this is like slightly more playable with like level 2s, I guess, but yeah, it honestly kind of wish it was just the Luke and just like give level 3s power because then you could play with the demigod, but you probably don't. The demigod probably doesn't need the extra power either, so like
Mhm.
whatever. Anyway,
But yeah, so I guess a little quick fact with I mean he's the drummer, as you can see. He's basically the last of the trio here, one of the protagonists of Guitar Hero 3. That's that's all I can really say.
Yep. He is the guy. And our last card, also a member of the drum corps.
Yep, here we go. So last card of the booster set. It is Matty Can's Demolition Disaster. First effect is if you have another character with Marcus Red Shredder or Shirley Crowley or Ricky Lee in its card name, this card gets color orange. When this card attacks, this card gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of your other Guitar Hero characters times 1500. And then when this card attacks, choose one of your other Guitar Hero characters, and that character gets X power until end of turn. And the same condition, X is equal to the number of other Guitar Hero characters you have times 1500.
Big boom.
This card is essentially just pack filler. I got this card off of the Wolverine in Volume 2.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I don't have
Not much to really say. It's just I just thought it was like a pretty neat card to add to it.
It's so funny. Just like he gets big and then some other guy gets big. If you run with like two of these, you could give a guy like 12k power between the two of them. Like, God, you'll never have to worry about memory kick if you run this card.
well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would rather just play the Echo Warrior state over this if I really needed to pump power. I guess he does get orange. Yeah, I'll just give him a straight D. I don't want to be too mean. He's already a disaster.
Yeah, I mean that is like 2 lanes of getting like 6k power.
Mm-hmm.
Like you swing it 11-5, 12-5 the climax down, some other lane just gets like another 6k. Like, God. This is a card you want to set with Coronet combo.
True.
And as you can see, this as I mentioned earlier, this is literally from the ending cutscene that I talked about, where he was just blowing shit up, basically.
Yeah, that man, his fucking eyebrow. Oh my God.
Yep, he has one eyebrow.
Just like the triangle. Like, wait, did something go wrong?
No, something went right.
Oh man. All right, home stretch promos time. Look at them. It's orange because it's the 5th color. All right.
Oh, it's true, Poker.
That face, though.
Yeah, this face. This is literally talking out.
Oh yeah, he's just like me for real, for real.
Oh, God. All right. Izzy Sparks rocks the 80s. During your turn, all of your other characters get 500 power, and you can rest this card to give one of your guitar characters 1,000 power and the color orange until end of turn.
I literally just based this off of the Giorno promo from Golden Wind. The only difference is I just not getting orange, and that's really it.
I was trying to figure out where you got this from. I thought this was going to be the Aaron from set 1, the recurring tragedy Aaron. But no, yeah, this is just a Giorno. Honestly, if it didn't give orange, it would be like an F for me. But because it gives orange, it's like a C-.
It does do a thing. This line does kind of feel weird. This power line does feel weird.
Oh, doesn't it?
It does. Because during your turn,
It's
all of your characters get plus 500.
Yeah, like that's only a 500 power effect, right?
No, because it's not traded. but it'd still only be like 15.
Oh,
And then the
that's why.
power,
Yeah,
because
okay.
it's traded power. I would go
Yeah,
back and check
weird.
see if that effect is traded on those promos. If it is, they're
I,
wrong.
I don't know. Maybe
It should. I think this is
JoJo's
like
is
35 or something.
JoJo's just weird in general. There's a ton of terrible cards in that set. I should specify. Golden Wind is terrible. JoJo's is like good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because just as you can see, this is the other half of the box art for Guitar Hero Rocks the '80s, and yeah, this face is just too good.
What is happening? Yeah, the fact he gives Orange is, I think, the one thing that I can confidently say he has going for him. It does feel like the rest of his life is going to be steadily going down drain from the heroin addiction. Uh, yeah. All right. Next card, I think.
So this is like the band. This is like got all the. Oh no, it's got.
All the original boys and girls.
All right, so it's got Johnny, Axel, Pandora, Echo, not Echo, Casey, Judy. Oh yeah, I guess Echo is on here. Austin, Shirley, Ricky, Maddie, Lars, and Marcus. I named them all. I win! Yay! All right, so it's a 3-0 counter event. You choose. Oh no, you give all your. Okay, wow. So you play this as a counter, and then you get to give all your Guitar Hero characters plus X power to end of turn. X is the number of colors your character have on stage times 2,000. Cool. So for no cost, you get to just give all your characters 10,000 power cross turn till end of turn. Well, I guess not cross turn, but like. So if you play this on your turn, your whole board gets 10k. If you play it on your opponent's turn as a counter, then your whole board gains 10k, and then nothing dies. I don't
Holy
know,
shit.
like.
I'll admit it. This is definitely probably all respect for good reasons. Oh
I
my god.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'll admit this is definitely probably all respect.
I don't know. There's sometimes you just have conditions that are abusable, and color counting may actually be if somewhat abusable condition when it comes to mathing it out. But it is stupid funny. Like this card is just like, no, sorry, you thought powers mattered. No, I'm level 3. You're not doing anything.
I've got like nothing to say about this. I read this once and was like, does this card do damage? No. Does this card give Nexel? No. Is this card a tap counter? No. All right, why am I playing this? And now that I'm looking at this again, I'm like, why did I never play this?
Just as like a one up to just like throw it so its face because it's searchable with another promo. Like,
Yeah, you can just save your board. Like,
yeah.
cool for one turn.
God, this is a very
I don't
promo
know.
card. I love it with like the chivis. Like that's very cute.
This is unfortunately a card where because it's a promo, if this card became playable, it would
Oh,
instantly shoot up to $20. You know what I mean?
yeah. This isn't like This wouldn't be like a promo prep promo. This is This is like a box topper promo.
Well, no, like it's worse than that. Like you could make like Casey Rock the '80s and some of these other Rock the '80s cards your box toppers. This card reads like either a shop challenge card or like a card that you would get at like a regional or like an anime expo event. Like this is like that
Mm.
style of card.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think
Like,
about what is the way you make this most accessible.
well, obviously, yeah. For accessibility, you'd make it a box top. I mean, for accessibility, you'd put it in the fucking set. But like, you know this card is destined to be like a $30 fucking shop promo, you know?
Yeah. Rip. God.
So
God.
funny thing I gotta explain about this card. So this card was originally part of the booster set.
Oh my god.
The reason why I switched it to being a promo was because I felt like yellow had too many, not so much of yellow, I just felt like there was too many events in the set. So I kind of wanted to kind of condense it a little bit. There's also like a lot of level 3s in the set as well that I felt like I felt like adding this event made the level 3 lineup a little too lopsided. So I kind of wanted to even it out a little bit. So I made the decision to put this as a promo.
Gotcha.
I think that's like fine, but you didn't necessarily have to do that.
Yeah, like most sets have an event in every color and maybe like a fifth one somewhere spare. The event focused ones usually go like even more ham with it, but like even like a set that has like no reason to focus on events is usually still gonna have like 4 to 5 events main set. So yeah, it would have been fine. But it probably could have been a different color, I think. Like if you had put in like green or
Yeah,
red?
I could probably see that. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the two. I guess red, because green already has a level 3 event in it, because it has sudden death, so yeah, that'd probably be how I'd play it. Either way, still, this card's hilarious. Alright, speaking of cards that search it, though.
Yep. Yep. Last but not least, this is the last promo, and it is Guitar Hero 5 guests. As you can see, these are all the guest characters in Guitar Hero 5. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal top card of your deck. If that card is a Guitar Hero character, choose one of your characters, and that character gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. And then the act effect is pay one, sack this character, and choose one star power activate or rock on in your waiting room, and add it to, return it back to your hand.
I legitimately don't know. I feel like this exists somewhere, right? Almost somewhere. I know that top effect exists. That second effect feels weird to me, but it might be alright.
I mean, you can get either event with it, so I think it's fine for it to be like this.
Oh.
I don't know. These are the guests. So it's Eddie, Carlos Santana, Kurt Cobain, Johnny Cash, and like the girl from Garbage.
Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley Manson.
Yeah, that's it. That's her
Don't
name.
call me Shirley.
I thought about putting this card in when I was playing the Star Power Activate event. I think if you're not playing Star Power, this card's like pretty useless, but it is a nice thing to have. And 2,000 power is like nothing to sneeze at. It's kind of just like whatever. It's like here for me. It's a good promo, but like I don't know. I haven't found space for it.
And on that note,
Woohoo!
that's it. That's Guitar Hero.
I hope everybody watching liked all the music puns and references and trivia we were giving out, because I know that Desmond and I are both really passionate about music.
I'm not near as like researched on it when it comes to like bands or whatnot, but I also do love me some music. I'm more of a vocals guy myself, though, in the grand scheme of things. Like I could appreciate a good instrumental section, but it is definitely not the thing that I immediately jump for. So yeah, going for a game about like people just playing guitar was never going to be a thing that I did as a kid. I don't think I was too busy singing karaoke as a 5-year-old in my car.
I was never a big fan of Guitar Hero because I was terrible at it growing up. But when Rock Band came around, I was a lot more on board with that because like there was more than just guitar. You could play drums or you could sing. But it is, I will say, Desmond brought it up in one of the videos. Like the art and style of Guitar Hero is so unique to not even like rhythm games, but just video games in general. And I think it actually translates really well to Weiss Schwartz. Like you're right. When you look at these cards, you think, this is really cool stylized art.
Yeah.
Like it's not immediately obvious what series it is, but if somebody told you, yeah, this is from Guitar Hero, you can immediately go, yeah, you know what? I could see that. I totally get that. It's like so obvious when you look at some of these where these things are all from.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna continue to play test this set with Desmond over the next couple weeks. I'm probably gonna stay on 8 bar to be honest, but I gotta try a couple other things. I gotta try the freaking demigod. I gotta try Lou. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite sets I've reviewed because like mechanically it's cool and like I actually get a lot of what you're trying to do with it. It's just so nice. Great job all around.
Thank you. I never imagined I'd be able to put this together because again, like considering like the challenge of having to like pull like good quality screenshots and then also like having to like use like the cutscenes and like the lore and having to like put everything together in like in 100 card set was quite a task in of itself. And the fact that I was able to put this together and add so much flavor to it, yeah, I'm very 100%. I'm 100% satisfied with how this turned out, and I think I made a complete like 180 of like a complete 180 improvement compared to Assassin's Creed. As much as as much as that's my baby in terms of like my first custom set that I put together, I put a lot of thought into it because of how huge of a fan I am. But the fact that I made this after the fact, like taking the lessons learned that I took from making Assassin's Creed. Just making this major improvement was very very welcoming, and just very 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 happy how it turned out.
This is one set where like I've seen other people's sets, but like this is the one where like maybe Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared also, but like this is the one where I've looked at it and said like if I ever got someone else's set like professionally printed like with the foils and everything, like it might be this. It's really cool.
That is high praise.
Yeah.
So y'all
Makes
already
you-
have like decks you'd play because you're playtesting and whatnot. I think I would have to try some pile of Warrior Transformation, like just like pick a climax, throw in multiple of the combos, just see how badly I could break it. Like,
yeah, one of us has to try that at some point for sure.
Probably something involving using the standby, just because there's got to be a way to break it with standby trigger. It's the most broken trigger. If it doesn't break with that, I have no idea how.
Well, see, in theory, if you're playing a bunch of cards that commit off that trigger, you would want to play the pant so you could recur it and try to play it every turn because you're only going to get 4 copies of the Warrior Transformation to work with. But like then it's like, does that actually make sense? Does the Lars combo play good with pants? Does the Shirley combo play good with the pants? I don't know, but we got to try it, right?
Yep. Something standby. Just goof around with Warrior Transformation. But yeah, this was very interesting, and it's nice to see another person doing stuff with a 5th color. I built purple. I have purple in as a part of the template in Magic Set Editor. That's a thing people can get. As soon as Desmond started talking about doing this set, I did debate like going back in and doing orange, but I never actually got around to it. And I think doing it this way is a more creative approach for sure. Of just like throwing like the color as like an on stage condition. Much more fitting.
I agree.
Yeah. Very cool.
I will say I do want to make a deck with wheel trigger in it at some point, JB, but like I don't know. I don't have any custom set ideas that like will suit it right now.
Yeah, there've been some considerations. And we'll get a chance to talk about one of the other triggers that is in that expansion pack at some point.
I could do a Mario Party custom set. That'd be funny.
Oh god. Yeah.
Anyway,
usual outro stuff. Des, do you have any shoutouts you would like to give?
Yeah, I mean, just shout outs to the the everybody that's in the custom set discussion, pretty much just giving me feedback on doing the power budget, the bushy math, and all that, catching like any of like the spelling check errors and all that, or like missing like certain things that were like important to the effect, or providing any kind of clarity in card effects that were kind of missing, particularly with like with the Lou finisher and all that. Yeah, no, definitely it was very helpful, to again, being able to, as I mentioned, going off of, the lessons learned from Assassin's Creed and kind of, taking that and trying to, again, like make something very flavorful, very balanced, and nothing like too off the wall, with like,
Yeah.
like, with when how I, designed initially the Ezio Auditore and the Hidden Blade event. Um, yeah, so
I'm sure people will tell us in the comments if we're completely off the rails here, but there's so much cool stuff in here that doesn't feel overpowered and broken that we like. I want to play immediately. So like, I think it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, I want to give shout out to Desmond. This man got top 8 in New York this past year, Springfest. What channel did you? Is it Weiss and Chill that you guys are on?
it was a base damage when we did the
Base damage.
podcast
That's right.
episode. Yeah.
So if you want to hear more about Desmond's time, I think if I'm correct, I have to go back and check the master post from Eris, but I'm pretty sure you're the only person in Springfest who topped with 10 choice 2-door Chainsaw Man in the Springfest circuit. So if anybody's interested in learning that deck post ban list, like Desmond's your guy. He's consistently topped our locals in Baltimore with that deck like for months. He's been playing Weiss for a long time. I like that's kind of why like even with the miss of Assassin's Creed, I trust his like instincts with when it comes to like set design and deck building.
Yeah.
So it's really great that we finally got to have him on here. My other shout out is if you're a fan of prog rock, the Beat Tour is ongoing. It's this super group that's got Adrian Ballou, Tony Levin, Steve Vai, and Danny Carey from. You might know Danny Carey because He's the drummer for Tool. They're in this band together. They're all 61 years old or older, and they haven't missed a beat. They're playing as good as they've played for years, and they're playing some of the best music ever written, which is from 80s King Crimson. It's like new wave mixed with prog rock, mixed with dance rock, mixed with math rock, mixed with like industrial music, mixed with distortion. And there's one song they played where Steve Vai did a really like a 10-minute long distortion guitar solo, and there was another song where Adrian Belew did a guitar solo with a power drill, and I don't want to say more than that because it's gonna spoil, but like go please, if you like music, go watch this show. Like even if you're like a fan of pop or country music, do yourself a favor and go. It's an eye-opening experience. It's so cool. And I'm only bringing it up because it's like the only concert I've got to see this year just because I've been so busy. And it was totally worth it. So that's my other shout out. And if you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Discord or message me on YouTube.
Rock on. All right. Well, as for the usuals, Discord links in description. Set link will be provided at some point as well. If you want to be on this show, hit me up on Discord. That's where you can find me. When you're just set it all up in MSC, export HTML, set it up as a folder in a Google Drive, and then send me the folder so that I can put it together in the PowerPoint super easy. We do have a queue now, for sure.
Hooray! We've done it. We finally surpassed Paru. We have a queue. Woohoo!
God, don't start with that shit. Not only, all right. So like, not only because I have a bad history when it comes to queues as a as a Tumblr writer, I did just kind of abandon like a whole pile of them to the wolves because I lost interest in writing that genre. So I was like, well, shit. Also, because I am gonna have to slow down at some point because I do need to find employment to make money. So this production cycle has not been terribly sustainable. It will need to slow down, but I don't want people jumping up in queue to be like, yeah, I'm gonna see my set, and then it'd be 3 months, and then start getting impatient on me. But we have a queue. We have at least 3 sets on the horizon. Normally, I would keep it kind of vague. Like I've done like little like bait trailers in the past at the end of these. But I think I'll just straight up like give spoilers for what's coming up because these are fairly significant. Because we have another Volk set coming up. God help us all. Fire Emblem is on the docket. We have Jujutsu Kaisen also on the line. It's like one of those two is going to be next. Another one coming after that. And then I'm hijacking the queue again because I want to talk more about VTubers. So I've got a little.
Can I ask? Do you have a Patreon or like a Coffee, whatever that website is, where people can tip you for your editing skills?
I will have it by the time this video goes up.
Probably worth it.
So yeah, that will be in the link in the description as well. Just something. But yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Just tune in, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, it's been Whims of the Creative Crew. Signing off. Peace.
Keep on rocking.